How are we going, everybody? Just having a quick update on my potted stuff that I've been playing around the last couple of weeks. Okay, I'm patting Cara as well. If you watch the live feed, you'd see all the sheep running away and the alpacas. Yeah, only the horse didn't get out, and only a little bit of rope held him back from escaping. So he's such a placid, giant creature, beautiful soul, beautiful spirit, as are these two puppies. They always have to be around me. Literally, if I'm not around them or they're not around me, they get a little bit of anxiety. All right, so these are the wild roses we potted up in our potting mix or planting mix. They're fine, they're dormant at the moment. If you remember, at least 3 months ago, it would have been the elderberry plant that I potted up using only superfood to trial, to see how it goes. Well, look, I've just added a little bit of potting mix on top now. I have not changed it. I shouldn't have put the potting mix here. Let me move it out of the way because it's just sitting there literally. And underneath there, that's the superfood underneath there. So this has been growing in there. It is freezing. This is not in a protected environment. It is out here in the open with all the other plants I've got there. There is a lot of good growth. Am I seeing that, or am I seeing things? Yeah, no, there is. There's all the new bud swell there already. A little bit early for the season, but I reckon this is going to take off like wildfire come springtime. See there as well. So it does work well. The superfood hasn't burnt it. And this is the hottest plant on topic at the moment, folks. Everybody's asking about it. This is our devil's plant, or Solanum mimosum, or Solanum capsicoides. We use this as the rootstock to graft our eggplants onto. You can graft tomatoes as well. I'm going to demonstrate that later on, but I thought I'd just give you a bit of background on this one here. It looks like a wild eggplant leaf. Now, if you've looked at your eggplants properly, closely, they have spines on the leaves, just as this one here does as well. And you can see just underneath there, I don't know if you can see it, I'll hold it steady for you. Just see that there? There's a little prick there. There's lots of little pricks under here. These little pricks, they do some damage on you if you're not careful with them. So there's one there along the veins. That's where they pop out of, even along the stem of the plant. So anywhere and everywhere on this plant, there are pricks and they can destroy you. They'll hook onto you. That's why they call it the devil's plant. It'll knock you to hell and back. See all these little thorns there? Now they're not little because left unpruned, uncut, uncontrolled will grow to as big as that. That tree there, I kid you not. I'm not at the store at the moment or at the location where I've got them. I've got two of them growing. Well, it's not as big as that at the moment, but it's 2 stories high at the moment. What's that? 7 meters, 8 meters with a roof line on it. That's probably 10 or 12 there. So let it go and it will grow that big. Now what we're doing with them, keeping them small. Why am I talking about it? Because down here in South Victoria, or in Victoria in general, our weather is a lot colder than Adelaide, where I've seen them growing like trees. I'm talking about the eggplants here. Our weather's too cold for eggplants. Our summers are too short. If you've got an eggplant growing from last year, and I know a few of you do, Craig, I know you got one because you've got some bubble wrap around it, and that's a great way to create a mini hothouse. So if anybody's got a plant in the garden like this, you put a couple of stakes around it and wrap it with, you can do it with Glad wrap or bubble wrap. Why I say bubble wrap, it's because of the air pocket or the air bubbles inside. That captures the hot or cold air getting in. So it becomes it's almost like double glazing. It stops the hot air getting in or the cold air getting in and the hot air escaping, and vice versa. So depending on the season. So you can protect your eggplants during the winter, like right now, cover them. I haven't got eggplants that survived it, or actually I do. I should go cover them. I've got the heart to leave them like that. I'll cover them and I'll show you once I've done it. Cover them, and then come springtime, as soon as you start to see new swelling, and this is also for your capsicums, your chili plants, protect them over winter. Don't go pulling them out and replanting new ones. That's fine. You're supporting the garden centres and everybody around. But if you've got plants that have been successful in your garden, leave them in the ground. Do not cut them back either, because they're dormant. They'll get wounds on the end where the cut is. It won't heal and you'll get dieback. So as soon as you start to see bud swell, like this, for example, see this little swelling down there? It's not a bud, but it's swelling. Or there's an example there. So once you start seeing this sort of plump bud starting to appear, even up here like that there, that's a sign that the roots are growing and starting to draw up nutrients and feeding the plant. And that's when you cut your plants back, your eggplants and your capsicums and chilies. Now with the eggplant here, what the purpose of this is, you graft onto it Now we've got I don't know, a couple of hundred at the moment. We're doing 300 or 400 of these. We've got them getting ready as a rootstock so we can supply them to anybody and everybody. Look at that healthy root system. That is superb. That is a cutting stuck in our potting or propagating mix that I make up myself, and done nothing else. Look, it's a little bit yellow because I'm not feeding it, and it's out in the weather copying all the rain. And that's why it's discoloured and it's gold. Give it a feed, this will go luscious dark green. And come late August, mid to late August, I'll be grafting all these with our eggplants on them and then having them available to everybody to take home and grow. Not for free, but you can come down and have a look at them when they're ready. They're not ready now, so please do not come down to the store in Coburg specifically for this to buy. They're not ready. You can come down and have a look at them, come and talk to me about them, but they're not ready. So eggplants on the devil plant rootstock will be available soon, and it's a great way to grow your eggplants all year round if you can. In Adelaide they grow like a tree. An uncle friend of ours, or uncle of ours, unfortunately passed away, Harry. We went to visit him many years ago, about 15, 20 years ago back then, to have a look at his back garden. I walked into his backyard and I saw this tree in the background there. It had a trunk like that on it. The canopy, base of the canopy was about here, about 1.5, 2 metres, or just under 2 metres. And it was huge on top. And what was hanging out of the tree were these giant aubergines or eggplants hanging like grapes all over. And I'm looking at it gobsmacked and I go, Theo, what's that? He goes, it's an eggplant. You got to be kidding me, because I've never seen it like that, you know. And he goes, yeah. I go, how old is it? He's 6 or 7 years of age, he said it was. And I'm sure many of you who are watching it in South Australia, New South Wales, warmer climates, have seen them, are quite accustomed to it. Down here in Victoria, nah, doesn't happen. Far and few between. I have seen a few who've been a couple, 2 or 3 years old, but not 6 or 7 years of age. That's because they're grafted on this. So these will become available soon, folks, at our store in due course, once they're ready. And speaking about Coburg, everything down there's got a beautiful price on it. That's cheap for you. Our plug-in plants, check them out. There are seedlings that you can buy one at a time or a dozen at a time, whatever you like, an assortment. They're fantastic for your garden. Give them a go and check out our website, vasilisgarden.com. Everything's discounted every day of the year. From me, Vasily, Maresi.